think, without the arts, I mean, what are we doing? We're just sort of, we just are, I think, would be going by, day and night are changing. So what is that?
I was having an interesting conversation the other day with a friend, and she was talking about the idea of performance-based art, being defined as art that happens in time, art that is connected to a timeline. And I thought that was really interesting because I wondered, what sets performance art apart? Why is it specifically time related? Because I can go look at a painting that is definitely not performance art. It's just on a wall in a museum, and the more I interact with the painting, the longer I look at the painting, the more I see in it, the more I'm learning from it, the more layers I feel. So I don't know if time is even helpful in the places we use it in definitions, especially in art.
In a certain way, I guess we have a certain view of, like, say, the 50s based on 50s style movies or 50s style, art. And so I think that really, right now, that really creates time periods, because the 50s as a certain decade was like, besides being a certain point in time, it's a certain set of conceptual ideas, a certain set of habits or associated terms. All that is done through basically movies and art that are constructed by individuals, but they're trying to say something more general about people, I think. Well, I think ultimately that thinking about time and space is going to lead to the question of why was I born at this time in this space? And so it's the temporal and the geographic question.
But it's inescapable. You can't live without time. You get older. People are born, they grow older, and they die, and you don't have any control over that. That is a fact.
One could easily say, oh, we have religion. It's to give us that sense of meaning that once our time is over as we see it, once we're dead, that would be it as far as we know for time.
Well, I think that's going to fall on the personal aspect of our relation to time, but it's really interesting because basically it's kind of a process of picking and choosing. Like, there's so many different events in our lives, and one may have extreme significance to you personally, even if it doesn't matter to anyone else.
Thinking of single moments, like a graduation, for instance, if you were to step back and say, okay, in the greater scheme of this plane of time and space, however we think of it, this really isn't such a big deal, and I'm really insignificant.
Maybe that's more of a thing in our society. We have a concept of time that allows us to hold on to specific moments as if they're truly important. But when you're talking about a lifetime in comparison to the lifetime of the universe, how significant is any one moment?
Because our understanding of time and space it can't even compare to the greater things that are out there that may even be in control of these things, and we are just little blips on, I don't know if you'd call it the timeline or the greater plane of things, but we are just nothing. So yeah, when you step back and you think about it, it's kind of scary when you realize how small you are in comparison.
And so people can see that we're graduating, or that I'm graduating, and say this must be important for them, but I don't know. It's not as important to me now as it will be retrospectively looking back, because I guess a lot of human existence, the people who I've interacted with anyways, mentioned that the first part of human life is a lot about looking forward, and the second half of human life is a lot about remembering what you've done. And so I guess there's that fundamental distinction that people tend to make. I don't know. I guess the only way to know that is by living through it, so.